Okay, welcome to the show. My name is Daniel Leach. I'm your host today. This is Studio 1776. We just want to welcome everybody to the program here, and also want you guys to check out our other program, our other website, social1776.com, where the revolution for the minds are happening. Anyways, I want to introduce Heidi Crystal Shen, and she's going to tell you guys a little story here about what's happening with a veteran who needs assistance. So go ahead, Heidi.
Hi. We have a United States Air Force veteran, honorably discharged, who served in Desert Storm. His name is John Ketchum in Tennessee, and he's been in hospitals now, veterans and other hospitals. They've referred him to for 4 months now for a foot problem, and which has become now he's actually gotten worse. He's has more trouble walking, has got all these pains and spontaneous burns and wounds showing up on his body, which we know that those are completely consistent with the symptoms of Havana syndrome, or you might call it intentional or microwave assault or directed energy weapon assault. And so what's happening today is he's being prohibited from leaving. They're telling him that he cannot leave until he's better, but he's not getting better, and they will not accommodate him in the ways that he needs to get better. He's even had trouble getting things such as a bacitracin-loaded Band-Aid at one point, and he's been berated, scolded, possibly yelled at for falling off of the bed, which was related to the design of the bed, and whoever is remote controlling, literally remote controlling the settings of the bed. So he's had enough, and he's been there for 4 months and given everybody a fair chance to give him the proper physical rehab that he needs, and he's only gotten worse. And it seems like it's just not something that seems like a wise thing to do, is to stay in a place like this. So John wants to leave, and they basically appear to be holding him captive. And that's the situation now, is we need to get him out of the hospital, and so he can go and find a situation that's going to be more conducive to his healing and recovery. So that's it. If anybody would like to talk. I don't know if he's on the line now. I don't see him on the line yet. But does anybody else want to say something? Deb, do we have him on the line? Hello?
Yes, I'm on the line, but can you hold just 1 minute, please?
Okay, sure. Yeah, so Deb is in Minnesota. She's a friend of John's as well. She's been with him since the very beginning, or somewhere near the beginning of this ordeal, and she's the one that referred him to me and let me know that he was struggling in the hospital. He had been, around the time that I caught up with him and spoke with him, he had just been recently released from Trevecca, which was a rehab facility, and that was a fiasco. They actually confiscated some metallic coated material that was, placed on his bed, was resulting in relief of symptoms. And so they wouldn't, or would in the past has resulted in relief of symptoms. So this is something that would help him with his debilitating pain. You could call it even a reasonable accommodation for his disabilities of his pain, but they refused to let him have that, and they even took it from him, and he still has not gotten it back. And that was about a $35 roll of material that he had gone through the trouble to order. And he did not have a healthy diet over there, even though they, brag about on their little advertisements about how great their nutrition is, but it wasn't actually, and he had gained weight. So he had to spend his own money and order in food so that he could have an appropriate diet that wasn't going to, worsen his health and his weight. So, but there was something else that was happening at that hospital. Sorry, I was distracted by a call. So finally he got discharged from that facility and, went to this one. And so they had a discrepancy at first as well, because there was the evaluation team to evaluate his physical status and his skills or his mobility did not show up right away like they were supposed to do that evaluation of his where he was at with his walking and his mobility. So that resulted in kind of a disagreement with the staff, which could have been prevented if if they had shown up or whatever, or communicated with the staff. So it fell on him. So, then he got over that. They all talked that out. And then basically he's been, he gets some basic rehab, and he's actually happy with his therapist, and his therapist is aware of the whole situation, and he's let everybody know that he has the symptoms of Havana syndrome. So they want to give him, palliative treatment. They're giving him, they want to give him pharmaceuticals instead of allowing him to have the accommodations that are going to, that are likely to reduce those symptoms, naturally, so he won't have to take all those medications, because that's not, it's not really a logical way to handle things, but, but he says that one of the reasons they apparently is that they say that they don't have another room for him to be transferred to. He'd like to be transferred. But just keeping him there, I would think that there's a legal, I think it's called AMA, against medical advice. So I think he should be able to leave. He has a plan of what he's going to do and how he's going to get better. And he was better before he came in there in all of these hospitals. So I don't really know what the problem is, but it's not right. This entire situation is not right. And we've heard some other stories as well. It's really unfortunate that federal veterans funds apparently are being used for these facilities, and someone like John, who's a good person, who's extremely knowledgeable about things, extremely knowledgeable about the technology being used on Havana syndrome-like victims, that he's being treated this way, and that he cannot get good treatment. Even when he was at that rehab place, physical rehab place, he wasn't even getting state-of-the-art treatment. Like, there was another patient that got offered that, but he didn't get offered that, so I don't know all the details there. But it just doesn't make sense that they're collecting money for this treatment, and they're giving him basic things like a medicine ball that he could buy at any Target, and then use at home by himself, or wherever he's at in his vehicle or somewhere outside, whatever he wants to do. So this doesn't quite make sense. And also that rehab facility did not have appropriate a setup for their bathroom. For his situation and his mobility, they did not have it set up disability accessible. It was not an accessible situation, and that's kind of that's not really excusable, and then for them to treat him at times the way, I don't actually remember all the details at that place, but he just, that shouldn't have happened. There should have been some more accommodations, or I don't understand why the place isn't designed more accessibly, and why for all of this money in 2021, he couldn't have gotten better rehab, better treatment for his situation, or even just the accommodations. Just to get his bed moved, we had to have Eric Hughes Jones calling from Courtroom Watch, and so his bed was able to be moved. They were trying to make him go through all this red tape and go to the head nurse or something like that. But they got this bed moved, but then 6 hours later, the symptoms started up again, the burning and stuff. He has photographs of his legs being burned, and that begs the question, why is a veteran in a veteran physical rehab facility, right, which is supposed to, would boast of healing and recovery, why is he getting allegedly unexplained burns? What to them would be unexplained burns, perhaps, but he's explained it to them, and they don't do anything about it to accommodate him. So these places should be accommodating situations like this, where their veterans are having symptoms like this, because, first of all, these are people that could be called potentially into service one day for our country. And second of all, the State Department is investigating these attacks. So our legislators are discussing it. There's a Senate, I believe, Intelligence Committee that's discussing it. So if the State Department is on this, and they're discussing this regarding diplomats and people that work for the federal government, right, who are stationed around the world and also probably at home. Why, if the government is aware, at some point there needs to be accommodations and people need to be putting protections into place for people here at home, for veterans here at home, especially in a veteran facility that's getting federal money. This is going to have to be addressed eventually. And if they're not going to do that, and if they're going to claim that they can't do that, or they're going to imply, because they're not even explaining it, they're just throwing drugs at them. And at one point they were throwing inappropriate psychiatric drugs because he didn't have a psychiatric problem in any way, shape, or form. I have talked to this man for hours, and you could not find a more level-headed individual. And so for them to throw those drugs at him that actually had a side effect that he found, that would make his particular condition worse. If they're going to do all of that, there should be no problem whatsoever in him wanting to leave the facility. So that's what I have to say about that. And my main question, as I said before, why is he getting burns and wounds, spontaneous burns and wounds in that facility? So I'll let somebody else speak. I'm wondering also where John is. I thought he would have been on the call by now. So Deb, or?
I'm here. I just want to say that John has exhausted everything that he wanted done. They're just not doing for him. And if he does not get out of there, he's going to be murdered. They're going to murder him.
Yeah, that's unacceptable. Yeah, they need to let him go. Otherwise, they, in my opinion, they're a party to a murder because he's explained it to them, they're aware, and then they're trying to keep him there against his will, apparently. They need to just let the man go or they're going to be liable is what I'm thinking. And, I think everybody should, I think the public should, be honest and holding them accountable, and everybody should start asking questions. And I think we should take this as high as we can take this. And people that claim they care about veterans should be on the case as well, and they should care about what's going on. So Deb has been saying this from day one when she contacted me, as they're killing it. He's being murdered in there, and somebody needs to do something, and nothing's been done, and he needs to be free to go.
Yep, he even that the toilets that they have there real low to the ground. There's nothing there for him, and now all they want to do is treat him for the Havana syndrome. He should be walking by now.
Yep.
Are you there, John? John?
Were you trying to bridge him on?
No, I thought he was on here.
No, he's not on there. I thought you said that there he was. I thought you said he was here.
He was.
Oh, goodness. Oh, he was with you?
He was on. He called in. He was on.
What do you mean?
Did you hear him? In the beginning, he was on.
What did he say?
I'm here.
Okay, hold on. Oh. Well, I'm not being able to reach him. But another issue is that, the nurses at this place, they've complained about when he falls, because he's fallen off the bed, and they've told him that, if you fall, we're not gonna pick you up. We don't have to do, something like that. They've complained about this stuff, and that's wrong. That's it's like he's being harassed while he's in the hospital because they have to use a special equipment due to his situation to lift him up back onto the bed. And they have the equipment available to them. So this is part of their job, and they don't, at least one person has acted like they don't want to do their job, and he deserves better. He deserves better. And he's gotten an adversarial attitude, now and then he's had to deal with that. He's had to deal with that now and then since he got there, and that's not okay. And this is a man. He's already been, he's already had to. He had a long journey, before he got here, but he wasn't as bad off until he was in these facilities. So it just makes no sense. But I really wish he could be on the call. I'm not really sure where he's at right now, but basically, it's which hospital is it here?
The Veterans Hospital in Nashville, Tennessee.
It's in Murfreesboro. Yes.
So my question for you guys is, if we're going to do a phone blitz, do you guys have any people that we can contact and put the pressure on and put the spotlight on? Suggestions for phone numbers and people that we should, like somebody like the hospital director, you know, maybe the county sheriff, like what county is he in, what state is he in? You know, all these officials that have responsibility for the public. These are the people that we need to be contacting about this case. So do you guys have any phone numbers that you can give out?
I don't have the numbers on me right now, but I mean I can try to gather the numbers, but I cannot promise. I need help getting them because I have to run in a little while to go do an urgent errand. But yeah, I'm not reaching him. I have to run and do an urgent errand, but I can try to get the numbers. I think it's the veterans. I'm not sure which hospital it is. Isn't that terrible? I think it's the veterans, rehab hospital, but I didn't get it.
Well, no, that's understandable. So what we'll do is obviously we want to get the...
Yeah, sorry.
So what we want to do is we want to tell John's story. Obviously, we can't get John on. They're blocking John from being on the phone call here. But we are getting his story out. And what I'll do is I'll do a follow-up interview with John so that he could tell his personal story. But until I do that, what I'd like for you guys to do is get a bunch of phone numbers for people to call so that when we do write up the blog or write up the article and we put it on Anti-Deep State Party and Courtroom Watch, that our people that are following will have follow-up numbers to people to contact.
Mm-hmm.
So,
okay, yeah.
Basically,
because the number has to be, even the name of the hospital, I can't believe we can't reach them. I'm wondering if what's going on here, if there is an interference on the line, or if they've let him go.
It's a good possibility that he's being blocked for some reason. You know, we have been experiencing electronic interference here when we're trying to work and with people that we are working with clients. So, you know, we consider John to be a client of ours at the point where we are trying to get the word out for him through the Courtroom Watch, through the Studio 1776. And so, yeah, this is a regular thing for this program. Anyway,
I'm trying to call him on one more phone number I have just to see.
Okay. Now, if we can't get a hold of John, is there any other information that you guys think that the public should know about as far as his story goes?
I told you said it pretty well. You explained everything very well, Heidi.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I mean, there's a background. Sorry, John. Oh, John. Okay. John, can you call that number I texted you?
I had too much going on here. I was saturated with people.
Okay, well, wait, hold on, John. I just want to let you know we're recording right now. So if you don't want me to record, I'll take you off speaker. We're recording to post it online, a podcast. We're doing a show for you. Do you want me to take you off speaker?
But I've got to call in, right?
Yeah, you have to call in. I mean, no, I only have 3 minutes on this line. That other number I was calling you from, you could call that on if you really wanted to. If you can't reach the conference number I texted you. You know the number I just called you from?
Yeah, the 952.
Yeah, this other number before this one. The Which number is it? That one has free of unlimited minutes. So you can call me on that one, or you can call the conference call, whichever is easiest for you. And then I'll do my best to get you on this call, because we'd like to hear it from the public, to hear the story from your point of view. John?
I'm still here.
Oh, yeah, I'll let you know just to double check. This number...
I wasn't.
Wait, hold on. This number's going to die in a minute because it only has about 2 minutes left, but the number I called you from is the one that ends in 1893.
Okay.
Or you can dial, the conference call would be better if you dial that number I texted to you with the access code.
Okay.
It's up to you. Are you feel like talking?
Well, I just got to explain some things. Another doctor came in here that was actually for mental health, so.
Oh, they're trying the mental health nonsense on him. Oh, goodness.
No, she's not. I told her what the doctor said about it.
It's
Tell
okay
John.
then, you're not...
Well,
Hey.
I think everything's
Okay, I guess that's okay.
There's too much of an echo. All right, well, I wasn't expecting this. First, I just want to help you out here.
Okay, do you want to call my other number? You don't have to be on. We're just, okay, hold on. I don't know how to shut this off, the speaker off. Can you call the other number regardless? Because this number is about to run out of minutes.
Sure.
Okay.
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 And bye.
Okay, bye. Okay, I'm not sure he wanted this show. I'm not sure, but we don't have to post it, I guess. But he's going to call the other number, I think. Hold on.
Heidi, he was afraid that nobody wanted to hear about this Havana syndrome.
Okay.
He was concerned about that because that's really what is happening to him. They're holding him up there, and that, before they're making that a matter before they are helping him walk.
Oh, they're trying to treat it so that he can stop complaining about it?
Well, they want to put him on all these meds because they think that it's all in his head. They think we're dreaming this up. So they want to put him on all the meds before they want to help him with his walking with his legs.
Oh yeah, that's ridiculous. That's terrible. That doesn't make any sense at all. Now I understand. They've done this to other people. Hospitals have done this to other people, where they use that to deny them medical care because they claim they have to do some phantom mental problem.
That's why they're not helping him with the walking. They want this to make this a big deal. They're all making money off of it. They're making a lot of money off his torture.
Wow, they can't just do that to him. I mean, he's got burns. He's got you can't wish burns upon yourself. I mean, that's ridiculous. What kind of superpower is that? You really?
He's got all the photos.
Huh?
He's got all the photos.
This is absolutely ridiculous. It's
So pretty much, he doesn't really want help. He doesn't want people to think he's crazy.
Yeah, so, I guess he's worried about that then, and maybe
Go ahead.
I mean, it's a point where he's concerned that if he keeps talking about this, that they're going to basically put him in a mental institution instead of helping him rehabilitate.
That's right. That's what they're working on because they all get big money for that. And we want him to have therapy. That's our number one. But
physical
he can't,
therapy.
Physical therapy. He tried walking down the hall the other day and he fell flat on his face. This was yesterday, I think. Because they were shooting him in the back of the leg.
Yeah. Yeah, he told me how. Are you talking about when his knee gave out?
Yep.
Yep, he told me about how his knee, how they made the muscles go limp all around his knee, and then something else that they did, and the effect was it just his legs just gave out, and he can tell what kind of weapons are being used on him, and he describes it about how the microwave is focused like you would focus sunlight through a lens, and then it's focused into a beam is what it looks like. This is what it's consistent with, you might say, okay? And then what happens is then it heats up the air around it, which forms a plasma, and this thing that's created with an electron beam becomes, it's steerable. So they can steer it they can actually make it curve. And I know this for a fact because I heard this from somebody who worked at a very high level in the United States government. I won't name this person, but they told me a long time ago that it can bend. They can bend this. And I don't know if it's the same thing, but they basically said that, some form of this energy could be bent. And he has pictures actually to prove what he said. He sent me a picture of his dog, and you can see the white streams, the white beams flying around the room. And Keisha Castellanos in New Mexico has similar pictures. She has one picture that there's so many beams like this flying around the room, it looks like it's snowing. And you do it with your camera. There's a certain way to do it. And it shows up on the camera, just regular video camera on a regular smartphone. And so he has a picture of his dog, and you can see one beam coming at him downwards because he's filming. And then you can see one beam that goes and it bends to get away from the dog, I believe to go towards him. But so it's like they were obviously not trying to hit the dog, he says. They were trying to hit him, or the beam was, being directed at him. So he has proof of things that he says, and he was in the Air Force. So the Air Force, some of them are going to have special knowledge, and some people think that it's the Air Force that is running some of these clandestine programs or whatever, or unconventional warfare programs under non-standard budgets or whatever you might call it. And we also actually, Kim Arts and I found, she found a quote that she directed me to from David Schurter, who's a whistleblower of high-level child sex trafficking among politicians and stuff like that, and judges. And David Schurter had used a case, or had used a quote from actually an Air Force, a member of the Air Force, I believe secretary of some type, who said that years ago, I think around 2006, that they had planned to use this technology, directed energy weapons, on the populace, and that they needed to test them out on the populace. So this actually won him his court case. So they were not able to commit him, according to Kim, because he brought this up. And so, and I actually found some pretty amazing research too myself. But the fact is, it's out there. The military has admitted that they were going to test it on the public. They've admitted that they had I even found a quote admitting that they could stop cars with high-powered microwaves. So, I mean, these are known things. And, so he has a special knowledge. He can explain all the scientific mechanisms of how the weapons work. He can tell if they're coming from near close proximity and things like that. So he's not making this up. He's not your average person either. So, they can try to treat him like they're crazy, but it doesn't make any sense. It's not credible coming from them. And so you can't put somebody in the military and give them all this special knowledge and then act like they don't have that special knowledge, for your own purposes and for profit or whatever motive. It's not right. So I'm not sure we're going to get him on the call. Maybe we might want to finish right now. And then, he's here. There you are. Oh, hi, John. Go ahead.
I don't know where to start.
Hi, John.
Hello.
Welcome to the program, John.
Yes.
Oh, well, thank you.
You're welcome.
So what led you to this today, or what you wanted to tell us? Because I kind of told them the basics, but we need the name of the hospital if you're willing to give that. But I told them just kind of the basics of what happened, with the hospitals, and leading you to today, and that you're not able to leave. And so I didn't really say too much about your background history, and I didn't give the name of the hospital. So if you want to pick up from there and clarify or add or whatever you want to say.
Okay. what about the nature of my injury? Is this a call that I could say that on?
It's up to you. I mean, it's up to you if you want to talk about that. I mean, you know, I mean, on the surface of things, we can look at it. We can talk about the nature of this, the other element to your injuries. But, you know, I just want to make it clear for our listeners that regardless of the nature of your, the other complicating factors of your injuries, which is nothing to do with your fault or your mental status, which is a good mental status, the thing is that you're getting worse, not better. You're having, you're coming up with burns and wounds, spontaneous burns and wounds that are not being addressed or explained by medical staff, and which is ridiculous because you're in a veterans medical facility and they're getting all of this government funding, but yet you're getting worse and you've been there for 4 months. They've had plenty of chance to physically rehabilitate you, and they're just ignoring the fact that you're getting worse. So on the surface of things, it looks pretty, you know, bad, and you have a right to leave. So that's my take on it. So go ahead, whatever you want to add.
Well, you pretty much told it in a nutshell there, I guess. But yeah, I've been in VA facilities, was evaluated with my injury, and then they found a rehabilitation facility for me to go, which was one of their mainstays. And but anyway, I was in there 7 weeks and went backwards. Lost my ability to walk what I had left, which was walking with a walker. And the bathrooms weren't set up to accommodate someone that has to use their upper body to help their legs until their legs get strong again. And you know, the tubing and different metal handicap assist items were just atrocious, you know, at angles where you can't get any leverage at all. So I was stuck there, and plus that I was stuck on the toilet for up to an hour before they would come to help, you know. And the place, you know, that place was not a good one for me to go to. It was a waste of my time and a waste of my energy. And so I go back to the VA because they were out of I was out of funding for that, so they shuttled me back to the VA, and I happened to have had to go through an intake process again, and they found out that I had COVID. That's what they said. So I was put in isolation for 2 weeks and got over COVID. You know, I fought it well and defeated it. So.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. You know, that you did that on your own, and they didn't. And then you also brought up, by the way, the fact that, you know, well, I don't know, that the staff wore masks, but the patients did, and they put you next to a COVID patient, right, with like no precautions or.
Well, this patient was a veteran, and he took the stab. He took the shot. And so, what I had heard through, I forget where I heard it through, is probably some information off of Facebook of someone getting COVID from somebody that had the shot, which they call that shedding. So the person that has the vaccine in their body and their body's fighting it and with developing the antibodies, they can sneeze and whatever and aerate the stuff again and be infectious. And I think that's where I got it, because that guy was sneezing without covering his mouth and stuff. You hear like that, and it just, you know that it went everywhere.
Yeah. Excuse me. Which so that was at Trevecca, or was that at the first VA?
Yeah. That was Trevecca, yeah.
Yeah, that was at Trevecca. That what's called our rehab facility, physical rehab facility. And there was something else that I found. You can speak if you want to. I don't mean to interrupt you, but I also want to point out that one of these places that he was in was rated by the VA's own. Oh, look at this! All of a sudden, I can't click on my on my links. But one of the places he was in was rated the lowest, one of the lowest in the country for VA hospitals. So it was like in the lowest 5 or something. It was something like that. It was like a 1-star rating. And one of the places had a lawsuit for a wrongful death. And so it's like these are not all, even top-rated facilities. And some of them, at least one of them, has had known problems. And this was for patient safety. So he's being put in a place like this, and now they're going to have the nerve to tell him that he can't leave when they're not even doing anything for him, really. So go ahead.
Well, therapy is about a half hour a day with.
Oh yeah, you said you did like your therapist, but yeah.
But well, yeah, I think it's better here in that sense than the other place. But
yeah,
but
that was
with a skilled, very skilled therapist, and she sees the positive progress I was making on the days that I made progress, and so the days that I wasn't making progress was because I was injured again by energy in my room, which is where I'm at right now. So anyway, being injured by that stuff, it ruins your muscles, it ruins the nerves. So there's new muscles with nerve endings that are trying to attach and build and see you're stronger. That gets destroyed with that microwave shot to the flesh, and then you're back at square one. The muscles that are remaining that are still established as still working, they're weakened. It's all that's what happens. That's what's happening to me. I mean, I should, when I was in my van and I was being injured by this stuff when I was in my van, but there was a day that I didn't get that for a couple of days, and my body already started to heal from that. I got stronger.
Yeah.
Right away.
Yeah, that's
away because it was off my body.
Yeah, that's what I noticed too, is that the human. Sorry, go ahead. Yeah, that just makes sense to me. I understand what you're saying, because the human body, from what I see, has inherent ability to heal itself if we're not, being exposed to extreme things like that.
Yeah.
Like radiation.
And and what they're striking me at is probably the equivalent area where they would give a female epidural for giving birth.
Oh.
So that's what I thought about that about a couple months ago, and I'm just that thought just popped into my mind right now again. So but that's where I was getting hit first time, and so now what they're doing is putting a tremendous heat on my vertebrae in that area, and it's
so
also it's penetrating a aluminum plate, 2 aluminum plates I have that's on a back brace that I made.
Oh my God.
And so it's defeating what I got on my back. So the only thing probably what's on my back is doing is knocking some of it down so that what they're turned up is not as bad as it would be if it were just straight on me.
That's terrible. That's like, what are those? I never had an epidural. What does that do? I guess it probably disables from the lower spine all the way down, huh? Just like they're disabling your legs on purpose. Yeah.
Right. I would say so. Well, there's plenty of ladies that get the epidural for childbirth, and it just deadens some of the pain so they can get on through with what they have to do to get the baby out.
Yeah.
So that's quite a process. I was fortunate enough to see my son born, so it changes a man's attitude if he has a bad one. And I didn't have a bad one, but it really made me even more compassionate, and so holy mackerel, that kind of thing. So that's even here. That's just that's a bonus.
That's a good attitude. That's nice that you that you want to understand. So I think in general,
that's what I thought about. And I think my wife, when she gave birth, I think she had an epidural. So,
Okay.
Yeah, just temporarily numbs the nerves in the lower end of the body there. And
yeah, I'm looking this up right now. It's not saying walking epidural. I mean, regardless, it's like if they're doing stuff, if they're doing that in that region of your spine, they're obviously doing something to manipulate the nerves in your lower spine, and those nerves are going to lead to the lower parts of your body. And so it's consistent with the symptoms that you're reporting, and now it's on the spine. And I found, that symptoms, which are consistent with directed energy weapon assault, tend to come with surface symptoms that correspond with that part of the brain or the spine that correlates to the symptoms in the limb or whatever a body function or brain function is appearing to be affected. So it all kind of goes together, and you can just look at the part. Yeah.
Oh, go ahead. No, I was just going to say. I thought you were going to. I thought you were going to end your sentence. I'm sorry.
Go ahead. No, it's your show. Go ahead.
What you're mentioning is they also, using these assaults, they can make you defecate in your pants and urinate in your pants by their command with their device. So
totally.
That's what they do also.
A lot of people report that. Mm-hmm. Sure.
And they've done that to me. So.
Well, I'm so sorry. Yeah. I'm so sorry. Yeah, they and I've heard that from other targets. I mean, yeah, definitely. It seems quite common. And it's a cruel thing to do.
They do it to me too.
Yep, I've seen it in people around me. They've tried that on me plenty of times. I know exactly what they're doing. And this is something that, I mean, whoever these attackers are, okay, because a discrediting statement will be, or question will be, oh, well, who are they? But regardless of who they are, whoever's at these controls, and Targeted Justice says that apparently they come from some Air Force bases in the western part of the United States. So, but that's what they're saying. But we know that people around us can have these weapons. There are portable weapons. We know they can come from cell phone towers and satellites as well, allegedly. But but what I've seen is people will report this as happening like right before they have to leave the house or before they have to communicate with other victims of, such symptoms of attack. So it's a very cruel thing. So I'm sorry. But yeah, I mean, obviously those nerves, right, they're connected to those organs. And so
right.
It's completely logical that these symptoms are going to be related to attacks of the spine, of the nerves in that area. So it's basically just controlling the electrical signals to your bodily functions. And it's coming from an electromagnetic beam, so it's only logical, it's completely reasonable claim to make to say that electromagnetic beams, which are fact, are causing these symptoms, which is related to electrical conduction down these nerves.
Yeah. And in the process, they can also shut down someone's libido with that also.
Oh, definitely.
I mean, like to the point of impotence type situations.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. That's a nerve. Yeah.
So they want to break somebody down to the point they don't have anything at all in life to enjoy, and that's written in their protocol that they are outrunning on people that they're targeting, make their life miserable, ruin their ability to work, ruin their job any way that they can, either by smear campaigns or through directed energy, make them sick so they can't work, damage their joints, make them prone to injury, that kind of thing.
Yep, totally. Yeah, it's some of these tactics are explained you can find them on Eric Karlstrom's website. It's called gangstalkingmindcontrolcults.com or something. And he's got various manuals, like CIA type manuals, and a manual that the late Dr. Ronnie Kilda had put together, discussing some of these tactics. Just like there are apparent FBI COINTELPRO type manuals that discuss various things. And so, and also there are like Scientology tactics that have been exposed by people like actress Leah Remini, who's on King of Queens. Yeah, so these are well-known tactics that are have been exposed before, and that's what we've heard reported by quite a few other people. There's something else I was going to say, but yeah, that's a pretty cruel thing, and that's and as a healer, you know, I've been doing energy healing for about 13 years, and what I found is that just from being aware of like traditional Chinese medicine theory, is that the reproductive functions it's part of what they call in Chinese medicine, traditional Chinese medicine, the Jing, and so that's your sacral chakra. You know, for the people that are into healing and that sort of a thing, you know, that's the sacral chakra. It's the Jing. In Ayurvedic medicine from India, it's called the Ojas, and it's extremely important because in the Chinese theory, that Taoist Chinese medicine theory, all the energy comes from there. Comes from it's like your foundational base energy and your reserve. So in Western medicine and Western herbalism or theory, they might call it your adrenal energy or your kidney essence. So from this kidney essence energy, which is kind of like, we call it like water, it flows upwards, but it has a corollary in like Western concepts and with the nerves and conduction and the organ functions and stuff like that. So it all actually is related, and I actually found a wonderful article, I have it somewhere on my Twitter, about how acupuncture, how they've proven like the acupuncture points and stuff like that with they call it lymph. There's something to do with the lymph. But anyways, the point is that the reproductive function is a way, if by disabling that function, it's really a way to make a person behave as if they're a lot more aged and as if they have a lot less reserves of energy, because the body relies on those functions to kind of move the energy along. So I haven't explained it perfectly, but it's all kind of related. But anyways, it's a cruel thing to do to somebody, and it's a way to it's not somebody else's right to do, you know, to decide for someone and to shut down their reproductive functions, you know, and to shut down the basic their reserve energy, their adrenal reserves of energy. So and then the fact that you have, and when they're affecting your extra, what do they call that, elimination functions, when they're affecting those too, those are also related to those kidney functions, right? And especially like the urinary functions are related to the kidney functions. Those functions are all related, including with the reproductive functions. So that's even more evidence that those functions are being shut down, because all of the functions in that same area they're doing to you, and now they're doing that to your spine, and so it's pretty obvious. And it's but anyway, so carry on. Go ahead, sorry. Yeah, I'm really sorry for doing that. How do they expect you to walk?
What's that?
Huh? Yeah, it says how do they expect you to walk when they're basically when you're getting energy attacks on that exact part of your body. So.
Yeah, it ruins all the progress. You know, it damages things that set it backwards. You know. So, but I was gonna say that. When it first started happening, I felt that on my back, and so I knew what it was, anyways. And I took all my shielding that I had in the semi truck and put it behind my seat, and I made like a cocoon around where I was covered for better part of at least like a half circle, and I extended it around a little bit past the side of the seat, so that you know, people coming up on the side of me didn't have a clear shot also, because there's a lot of people that are in cars out and other vehicles out doing this out on the highways every day, and you wouldn't believe how many the that do this, because they're filling up the motels and hotels along the road. You know, as you drive along, you see motels, and you see the Marriott, or you see what is it called, the Super 8 and all those. They're filling those places up. It's a home away from home for these people.
Mm-hmm.
Free hot from the cot. And but anyway,
wow.
I blocked that. I blocked that energy for a day, and then after that, it must have turned it up, because my shielding was defeated at that point. And they were hitting me in the back while I drive. You know, I didn't have any choice but to kind of take it, or.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah. And I've heard that a lot. I've heard that before. Like, people, it's reported time after time where people report the symptoms of these kind of assaults, and then so they'll use shielding, materials which are known to block these type of electromagnetic beams, and then they will typically experience a relief from the symptoms for a while, and then the symptoms will come back, or they'll get new symptoms, that will come back. So it's a very common story that you have, and it's evidence that that shielding is effective for certain type of electromagnetic attack, but not all electromagnetic attack, and that whoever the attackers are, whatever the source of this energy beams, that it's being changed or intensified, right? And it's because the symptoms come back.
Yeah. If people are interested in seeing what that energy looks like on a camcorder's camera phone, well, it's actually a camcorder app that's in these smartphones. They can go to the special K45, no spaces, THESPECIAL. The number's 45, and that's on YouTube. And
excuse me, you said the special K45, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And just how it sounds spelled, and with numerical 45 at the end of it, and it's on YouTube. And there's even a video I have on there that I show that smartphone cameras have an ability to see near infrared pretty darn close. Because I had an infrared night vision security camera that I bought from Harbor Freight, and I couldn't really figure out how I wanted to put that thing so that I could use it. But I just had it, and I used it. I put some deodorant on the bed, leaned it up against the pillow, and I had the room dark, and I used the infrared. I turned it on, and then I got the smartphone up and running with the light off, so that I could film near where that infrared light will be, which is the infrared. They're light emitting diodes, LEDs, and they're 940 nanometers, and those are the ones you can't see at all, but they're doing their job. They're because the camera that's picking everything up and sending it to your computer or wherever to process it. So I filmed the camera. I actually could see the print on the can. It was like a halo, like it was purple. So it's near infrared. It's not quite there, but it was good enough. So there's a video on there. I think there's about 1,000 views or so. So people wanted to see that, but they're not too interested in the directed energy that I've captured with the camera in living situations in the house. So
but they wanted to see the letters on the can.
Yeah, it's on that video. I'm not sure if I show that on that one, but I show the remote control, and I show that the light emitting diodes that are for up at the controls, those are the ones we can see with our eye, and those are within the spectrum for our eyes. That's where our eyes operate, which is a very narrow band of light waves. So the infrared is 940, and that
nanometers.
Yeah, nanometers. Yeah, and the camera picked that up enough to, you can see you can check you can use something like that to be useful to check your remote, make sure it's working. Push a button and look through your screen viewfinder of your phone, and you'll see a halo-ish purple type of light and it's flashing quickly. So that means it's working. So that sends a signal to your TV.
So the regular smartphone, you're saying, Cam, can pick up the NIR, the near infrared beams.
Correct.
Okay, yeah. Got it. Interesting. Okay.
And the other type of infrared lights are on the cheaper security cameras, which they are like they give off a faint red.
Okay.
Glow. So you see something like that on somebody on the counter in the camera, you know that it's got night vision, it can see everything, even if it's dark. And it's just like a little indicator lights to let someone know that those are working, that camera's working.
Okay. Uh-huh.
So anyway, all this runs together, and so now, I'm dealing with an injury that I can't get rid of because it's being repeatedly re-injured every time. So, with what I'm going through.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely what's happening, and it's unfortunate, and it's it's very disappointing that medical staff is acting like they don't know anything about this, and they're completely ignoring it. When you'd think the logical question would be like, why is my patient having spontaneous burns and wounds and pains when they're in this facility for all of these months getting, rehabilitation? And now you're working with this physical therapist, who actually is really trying to help you, but you just keep going back.
I had one of them mention to me about spontaneous combustion, that I might have excessive electricity in my body, because her son, he can't wear a wristwatch because it blows it up. His body's got more voltage and magnetism in his body, and so I mean that's truth. Some people can't wear a watch.
Really?
It'll burn it. It'll burn it up.
Oh. Okay, well, you mean that's something with their body? It's not energy weapons?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I remember that from some reason. I remember that from the 80s. Some people could wear a watch and actually it won't keep accurate time. It'll go quicker. It might go 5-10 minutes fast.
Oh, wow. Okay. I'm sorry I laughed. I laughed because I thought it was just an excuse. Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, guys, I want to say something. So what John is saying is absolutely true, and I know this from firsthand experience. My own father cannot wear a watch because the watch will not run. It will just totally shut off. It could be a brand new watch. It could be a watch that has a twister on it, electronic. It doesn't matter. But, yeah, that's absolutely true. So, first-hand experience.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, no, I believe you. I guess I assumed it was just an excuse that they made, to try to, explain what was happening to him without admitting to that there might be some energy beams coming at him. But that's all. But that's interesting. I didn't really know that much about it, but I've heard of it. So, okay. But the difference is that we can, if somebody were to have the proper equipment, I'm sure they could measure the energy beams coming in there. Hello?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, sure, yeah. Yeah, okay. So, no, that's interesting. I thought they were making an excuse. So,
No, I remember that from back when I was in my 20s. Somebody said they can't wear a wristwatch because it's short-lived. and then it doesn't work.
Yeah. Okay. I was looking up this infrared stuff.
I got a question for you, John. How long have you been dealing? I got a question for you, John. How long have you been dealing with this process of being in the rehabilitation in the hospital? How long have you been dealing with this particular instance?
Been about 4 months, probably, almost. It was the latter part of June. I went to the VA. Then I got out for like 2 weeks because they did a physical on me because I needed to have an income. So they fixed me up with, I was eligible for a non-service related pension through the VA, and that's what they've given me. So I have a little bit of money. But, I'll lose all that if I have to go to assisted living and all that good stuff that goes with that. I'd rather not lose it, because I know I can get better if my body was left alone,
Now, I got a question for you. So here, have you ever heard of using iodine for your body? Because a lot of times people's bodies are deficient in iodine. And so I know that if you were infected with the COVID virus, that virus is actually getting into people's bodies. And it's a nanotechnology that spreads from one person to the other person through the shedding, like you've experienced. And so what this iodine does is that it gets into the body and it shuts off those nanoparticles, which they call prions, and basically it detoxifies the body. So I might suggest to try to get yourself some iodine and start taking some of that iodine to try to maybe fight against some of this COVID that might be infecting your body. So
I have some of that iodine, and it works.
I take kelp seaweed. That's what I was taking, from a supplement from Vitamin Shop, and that's got the iodine in it for your thyroid. And I took that every day. But since I've been in here, it's been 4 months of no supplements or anything. So I used to keep myself loaded with about 3,000 milligrams of vitamin C every day. And then, of course, I took glucosamine to help my joints, and pretty healthy. It kept me pretty good for taking on the punishment that I was taking while living in
you've been in there you're not getting any of those supplements, like even your glucosamine. That's something that doctors prescribe for joints. So if you have a joint problem, it kind of baffles me as to why, in 2021, you can't get so much as a glucosamine prescription.
Yeah, I took that as a preventative, and plus I did have a knee injury from getting out of the semi truck, and somebody filled a hole in near a post, and instead of filling it in with gravel and making it right, they filled it in with soft dirt, and then it rained, and it was just nothing like. It was just like I slipped off the hard dirt, and went down into that hole of mud, and I twisted my knee a little bit, and so I went and bought Osteobiflex brand, which was a name brand, and I got the extra strength or whatever, and I took that, and my knee was pretty well goofed up. I couldn't walk very well, and I ended up about 2 days. It reduced it by 80%, and then I just kept taking it. And then the rest, as I kept healing, it soon disappeared. No pain, and it healed it.
Yeah.
And
that's
and the calcium and everything that's in those supplements like that, it'll show up on your bone, on your joints if you've got because your body's going to channel it to those places. And so you'll see it on the X-ray, it'll show it. Your fresh, brand new bone, brand new.
Yeah.
It was on my knee joint. I saw it, so it's pretty cool.
Okay. Yeah, I'm looking at it on right here online. Yeah, I mean they look pretty good. I mean, glucosamine, like I said, it's been prescribed by doctors, and so they're aware of it. You know, they know about these clinically proven supplements, and you were taking something that appears to be clinically proven, and now you don't even get that. And so I don't understand. You know, I just it's hard for me to understand why with so much money spent on your care, and they just leave you lying there, and they know you have all these problems, and they don't so much as try to prescribe you a supplement. Because from what I see, the most enlightened doctors who are aware of, you know, what's known as complementary medicine, which is allopathic medicine combined with like more holistic medicine. It's also known as integrative medicine. You know, why can't they get an integrative medicine doctor in there, you know, to really help your body, give your body the nutrients and give your body the maximum potential to heal and to recover, or, you know, and to cope with whatever your body's being exposed to. So, yeah. But, I wish I could have, you know, asked them that myself. And now you're at the point where you want to leave and they don't want to let you leave. So they had 4 months to figure this out. So it just baffles me. Mm-hmm.
If I can prove myself, I'll be able to leave. You know, I got to, you know, get myself dressed, and I got to be able to walk to the bathroom and be able to do all these things that. Yeah. That's what the therapy's supposed to help you to be able to end up doing. So they're like, they're not going to let me go easily here. So, and then
they're not what?
They want to know where I'm going to go, and I was going to go to a friend's out west. I've offered a place to.
Yeah, excuse me. Do they have a right though to ask where you're going to go? Like Daniel, Deb, like if he's there for a physical problem. Doesn't he have a right to leave AMA against medical advice? And do they have a right to know where he's going to go? Because I know they ask people that question when they're in a mental hospital, but he's not, you know, in there for a mental reason.
Not. You haven't currently been medically kidnapped, right? Correct? They haven't put you in a psych ward or anything?
No.
Yeah. So basically, what needs to happen is John needs to be able to get up on his own 2 feet and walk out himself. Until he can't, unless he's got somebody that can come and pick him up and take him out of there, you know, that's probably your other bet, you know. But yeah, I mean, if you can't really get up and get out yourself, you kind of, you know, at their mercy.
Can you get like sorry, it's what? I'm sorry, I missed you.
By now he should have been walking by now. I mean, if he tries to prove that to them that he can't, then that just proves that they haven't helped him. You know, he was in there that whole time and they haven't done one thing with him.
Yeah, they're just putting the burden on him. So my question is, can't they give him an adaptive aid, such as some crutches or a walker or a wheelchair or whatever he needs, since this is the state of his mobility, you know, right now, his walking function and his mobility, you know, which has happened while he was under their care. He wasn't like this before. So can't they, with all of that money they're getting, can't they provide him with some crutches or something, some kind of adaptive aid?
They should provide him with a wheelchair. That's what they should provide him with, so he can get the heck out of there. He can wheel himself out.
Right. And maybe somebody can get together and sit down and figure out how to get him what he needs to help him get out of there. Maybe we should be working on that, John. I don't know.
Well, that's probably the I guess the best thing to try to go for, I guess.
Yeah.
Because I'm sitting here every day getting hit with this stuff 24/7. It's not stopping. It might stop for a short period, but then it's right back on. And it's on me all night long. I don't sleep. I mean, I'm sleep deprived, you know, to such a degree what I'm doing is my body will micro nap, or it might catch an hour nap or something. I'll wake up abruptly out of sleep because I'm concerned with if they didn't stop doing what they're doing, it would continue while I'm sleeping. So, but I wake up and I don't feel it on me, and then it's back on.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I wonder, does your insurance, can they cover? Not that it matters, but I don't know. I just personally wonder if they would cover any of the supplements. I also know that I know for a fact that doctors will recommend also turmeric pills for inflammation, for like back pain. So for joints, they'll recommend the glucosamine. Yeah.
Yeah, I was taking turmeric too. I have turmeric in the powder, and I would mix that in with a little bit of chicken broth, or mix it in with water, and mix it in with cinnamon, and make a little bit of a mixture, because I was taking care of my blood sugar that way too. The cinnamon brings your blood sugar down. So.
Exactly. Okay. Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
I've lost
clinical. Yeah.
I've lost weight while being medically, being in here, because of, balanced meals, for instance, better food, as far as, and, maybe a more of a consistent meal time.
Excuse me, you mean in your current facility as opposed to the previous facility?
Oh, yeah. When I went to the Tribeca place, I gained, I think I gained close to 40 pounds over 7 weeks.
Yeah.
And then I come back to the VA and I lost it. So I'm thinking I'm close to. Now I'm a big guy, but I've got another 100 pounds to lose, and I'll be at my weight when I was in the military. So.
Oh, awesome! So you're making progress. You're on and going in a positive direction, and that's going to help your mobility.
Yeah. I've been I've just been eating what they serve here, and that's what's working out. And if I were back out on my own, I would still, I wouldn't be, jumping on the cheeseburger bandwagon and all that. I'd probably go to a place like Panda Bear and get something that's got all the veggies in it, like super greens, and
you're telling me about the Chinese food with the vegetables.
Yeah, that's what I do. And it's healthy, and I don't know if you can request low sodium for when they cook it. But
I bet you could in some places.
The last time I got that, it was it didn't seem like it was didn't have a lot of salt in it, so that's what made me. I lucked out that time.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's awesome. So you definitely sound like you had healthy habits before you went there. So, that's just more testimony that this was not caused by anything you did.
Yeah. And I was heavier before I came in, but my meal times were probably in question more so than being on a breakfast at 7 and lunch at 11:30 and dinner time at 5.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, I mean it's great that you know what works for you, and what your body responds to. And I think that's important nowadays. I mean, me just coming from you as a healer, like I think that that's what needs to be happening more in common medical care, is that the patient needs to be heard as to what they know and understand and want for their own bodies. Body autonomy.
Oh yeah, I wanted to mention that the people that are doing this to me, they're also striking my hands to cause numbness and neuropathy type symptoms. And also reduction in strength and the whole thing. That's microwaving my hands. And I have some pictures that one of my fingers in the picture, because in those smartphone cameras, red is a color that seems to stand out quite a bit more.
Yeah.
But the the processor in the camera, doesn't always process it out all the way. So if you get more red than you're supposed to, but that red,
Okay.
it made one of the strikes to my finger show up, and it was like looked like a fancy looking 6-shooter revolver. The revolver part you put the bullets in a gun, then the center hole, which made it a 7. So that was on my finger. So I mean, I don't have anything that makes something like that on my skin. So.
Oh my gosh, you had a design of like a series of circles making a circle?
Yeah, almost like a version of a small pinwheel.
That's actually, I've seen that as a design, as what it looks like the barrel end of like a microwave gun. I've actually seen that, and actually there are people who have like certain energy EMF protective jewelry, and they'll have designs on them sometimes. And I looked, and some of them have a design like that. They have this circles making a circle, and it's almost like a bullseye made out of these little circles where, but it actually correlates to, I saw that somewhere as a design of some kind of a directed energy weapon,
Yeah, and it's very precise. It's it's not hand drawn or anything like that. It's it's a machine
fabric produced.
Yeah, it's all. I'm using my terminology. It's a technological. I'm drawing a blank for that, so I apologize.
Yes. Okay. Go ahead. A technological, like a blueprint.
You probably could say that, yeah, because it leaves a mark like that. I've got also 3-point laser marks on my shins at one time that I've one before I went into the hospital, and it was a perfect triangle, so it was a straight on shot from whoever did it to me.
Oh, excuse me. Do they look like a V mark or an upside down V?
Yeah, some of them are. Those are a 2-point laser.
That's what I've seen. Oh my goodness!
It looks like a quasar or the on Star Trek's uniforms, they got that V-shaped.
Yeah, it's the so that's the
emblem.
3-point. Yeah.
Looks like an emblem for Star Trek almost.
And that's the 3-point one?
No, that's a 2-point. That you said it looked like a V. But
yeah,
the other one I've got was there's 3 little pinholes in the center of the wound, and the wound is shaped like a triangle. And I tell people about it as somebody medical, and I'll say, our bodies don't have what is it in because I'm not a college grad or calculus or
sure.
or algebra or whatever, but some of the shapes they use, it's triangles and geometry
shape. Yeah.
Okay, our bodies don't heal those wounds and form shapes like that as the wounds get smaller from healing, and so
they don't what? Sorry.
Well, the body just doesn't have that. I don't believe it to have that.
That totally sounds like a mechanical, the imprint from a mechanical device.
Right. Well, it's a laser strike, what it is, or a macer strike. Yeah. And when they're straight on, it's a perfect triangle. It's a 3-point laser. A glancing blow, a glancing hit will be one dark pinhole strike, and then the next one that would strike it would not be quite as dark, and then the last one would be lighter than the rest of them. So that dictates someone that's thinking about the trajectory of that device striking. Like it's the picture I've got of it. It's on my foot, on my arch. That it was a glancing hit from an angle. So because when you're at an angle, it spreads those beams out a little bit. But a straight on shot, they're grouped together in that perfect triangle.
Okay.
Kind of watch the movie Predator, and you'll be able to see when the Predator alien finds the one guy that's hiding underneath a bunch of large tree trunk, and he's trying to conceal himself and camouflage, but the alien finds him, and then he has a red laser, 3 points, that it goes down onto his forehead. You see how if you watch it, you'll see that laser, how it changes angles and stuff. It's not a perfect triangle. It becomes a perfect triangle, I think, whenever he finds the guy's forehead, and then he does what he did to him, and that sort of thing. So I mean, those are little hints from movies too, So it kind of helped me be able to put things together that's been going on with me here. So
and I'm sure we could corroborate that with. Yeah, sorry.
A little bit of Hollywood,
Yeah, but I mean, do you have experience? I'm sure we could corroborate that somewhere in the technical manuals and specifications for these type of weapons, right? Or maybe you have some experience in this.
Yeah, and I also have those wounds that are on the brand new ones that were done here or happened here, that they're like ovals, 2 ovals, and the one side of the wound, which is where the energy comes from, it basically wiped all the skin from there and pushed it over to the other side of the wound on the other half of the oval. So you have an oval there, and all the skin is white. All that pushed over skin is white. It's been singed, basically.
Oh yes.
So,
wow.
So and you can get the same thing happen to you if you have your cigarette lighter and you've lit it for too long, and that little wheel gets too hot, and that chrome steel guard gets too hot. You can burn your fingertip, and your skin on your fingertip will turn white.
Wow.
So, I mean, it's a momentary flash burn. It's what it is.
Yeah. Wow. I'm sure we can totally corroborate that. So you clearly have an understanding of a little bit of forensic analysis of the effects of certain type of weapons, which also would be analogous to or similar to or identical to probably military grade weapons, which you were also in the military.
Well, I didn't have experience with that stuff in the military, but it's just having electronic knowledge and understanding what a laser is, and and I read up on things, so I knew a little bit more, and that was after the fact of being in the military because of the stuff I'm going through. So science actually helped me discover these videos I've got. One of the videos on my YouTube is one where I'm in the bathroom. Please forgive me for what you hear, but because this energy also will cause you gas, and because it superheats the liquid in your intestines, and then you have gas. It's got to come out because it's like super expanded. And so anyway, you go and watch that video, you'll see energy everywhere. I mean, it's these projectiles flying everywhere in all directions. Yeah. And well, I mean, I think you saw it. So
in the bathroom?
Yes, the one where they come up
nobody. Just to clarify, there was nobody in the bathroom, but it's just to show that. Or I don't know if there was nobody in the bathroom, but they do.
That was me. That's me in the bathroom, and I was filming it because it's being given.
Oh, I see. Yeah, you were showing that they were attacking you.
Yeah,
that the beams were coming through.
Okay, yeah. Through the wall.
Yeah.
So that's a good one.
By the way, Oh, sure. Okay, yeah, I remember that video. And I was just going to point out that a lot of, other targets report the same thing. Anything that, any bodily function that can be manipulated, people are reporting as being manipulated with symptoms of directed energy weapon assault. So, yeah. And it'll tend to happen at certain times as well. Like when I make videos, I mean, they can cause a burp, that's embarrassing. It's not that embarrassing, but yeah, they'll, how come I only burp when I'm starting to make a video of my evidence, But, so that's what it looks like. It's kind of weird. But yeah, that can happen. So I saw the beams flying through the bathroom in your video.
Yeah. And how I discovered that was, I felt that energy moving the hair on my upper chest and my shirt. It was moving my shirt. And so I felt that stuff hitting. I thought, something that's doing it and it's making it move, it's got to have mass. So basically, I got my camera phone, my smartphone out and put it on the camcorder and turned the light on. It was a brand new phone. And I bought it actually for the purpose of filming family stuff. My other camera other phone didn't have a light on it. So I got the next one up. It was only $50 for the phone, and it was a Samsung. So, but it had an excellent camera in it. And so when I turned the light on, anything that's kind of mass will reflect light. So I went and turned the light on and had them pushed record, and then I saw all the stuff flying. That when you look at that, all that checkerboard, the bathroom floor, linoleum and stuff, So, and that's how I discovered it. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know what I was going to see, and I instantly understood, of what it was.
Yeah.
Then I did some research to find a declassified device. It's called a macer. So it's a microwave that's amplified and stimulated to emit radiation. That's what the acronym stands for. And basically they're running a microwave through the device that they would run light through to make a laser beam. So they hyper up microwave beam to the point that it's superheated, and when it travels through the air towards its target, it heats up the air around it so much that it
Excuse me, 1 second. Excuse me. We're in a little bit of sound disruption here. I can still hear you, but it's a little bit. But you were saying that as the beam travels through the air, it heats up the air around it.
Correct. And it provides what it does is it makes a plasma sleeve around that beam.
Right.
That was because you superheat the atmosphere so much. I mean, it changes its form for a little bit, so it wraps itself around that beam, and it becomes a conductor, and so electrons will travel down that. So that's a Tesla device actually, because didn't Tesla mention something about lightning traveling down a beam of some sort? Which was something I think that you said. I read it someplace. So anyway, because Tesla technology is exactly what this is, so.
Okay. Wow.
So anyway, that's how I discovered it. And after that, I was, getting it everywhere in the house, in the room. I was getting hit, and then I figured out I started to have to wear magnets placed on my body to, ward off assault on my ribs and stuff like that, which they were trying to hit my organs and stuff. And they're doing it to me here now.
Your organs. The sound is being disrupted. I don't know if there's anything we can do for the sound disruption.
No, I'm not sure. They could.
I would suggest.
I wanted to keep talking because this is really important, and I think it's coincidental that right when he's talking about the meat of the technology here, of the topic, is when this is happening. So
right.
Yeah.
So I would suggest that anybody that is not talking while John is talking, put themselves on mute.
Okay. Oh, sure. Wonderful. Yep. Thanks. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, please continue. Please continue. This is very interesting. Go ahead. Sorry, John. Okay.
Oh, I think that was probably I was at the end of that. I just explained how I discovered this situation because it was like it's invisible to the eye, you know, and but I wanted to mention too that these infrared security cameras can do the same thing. Those light waves are maybe too long for our eyes to be able to process, but whenever you view the security cameras, what it sees, and you see it on your computer screen, and you see white wisps like my videos have, that it acts in the same manner, even though it's a light wave that's out of our reach of our own vision, the capabilities of our eyes. It acts the same. So anybody that's got security cameras and they see that stuff, keep filming it and save it for evidence, because that's stuff that's flying around that shouldn't be. I mean, for that to be flying around, somebody's had to push a button.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, that's really one of the best descriptions I've ever heard of some of this technology. And you've named it, explained it, and demonstrated it. So I appreciate you explaining that to us a lot.
You're welcome. And if you want to try to shield yourself from it, there's no 100% shielding, okay, but between some magnets and materials called reflectics, you can also use mylar blankets, but they're thinner. Okay. But that's the same look of the material on reflectics. It's two-sided mylar, basically, and it's a house insulation, and it reflects heat. It will absorb or attenuate radio signals too. So you can make a pouch and put your phone in it, and it'll greatly reduce its ability to receive a signal.
Okay. Yeah.
So, but you can take a room in your house and completely enclose it, or you can build a canopy around your bed, and it'll knock some of this stuff down and make your own self hard to be viewed, because it'll reflect your heat away from any type of FLIR camera that they're using to try to see you, or infrared camera, which the FLIR is called forward-looking infrared radar.
I'm sorry, I missed part of what you said because I was trying to reconnect my web viewer part, but you were saying that you can make a canopy. Did that come across clearly on the audio?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you can make a canopy type thing around your bed. You'd have to get reflectics and 4x, make however wide your bed is, and cut them the same length, and go underneath your bed, and you have to use metal tape to put them together so that there's no gaps, which the metal tape is basically this. This is heating and air type stuff at this point too. The metal tape.
It's what air type stuff?
It's like heating and air. They use the same type of materials.
Oh, heating and air conditioning. Yeah.
Yeah, and
like the AC.
So
okay.
So you can make the floor first, because you got to have the you're going to do the floor, and then get your panels for the sides, all four sides. Then you have to, of course, tape all this stuff together so that there's no gaps. And you have to tape on the bottom, make sure that there's no gaps on the bottom that join the sides to the floor. The pieces are on the floor. So that's then when you put the top part on the roof, or not roof, but the top of the canopy part of this whole thing. Once that's in place, you have a little area that's completely sealed off, where your visibility to certain devices is greatly hampered. You can look at a couple videos on on YouTube that concern defeating a FLIR camera or defeating infrared. And they use Mylar blanket and look up Mylar blankets defeating infrared cameras, and you'll get some things that come up that's pretty interesting.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, thank you. I was going to ask you a quick question. Yeah, sure.
That's about that's part of the experience dealing with it, plus then doing some research and catching those extra ideas from people that are actually making actual clothing and things like that to conceal their body heat.
Okay. Wow. Excuse me, can I ask a quick question? So when you're making that canopy, then would it be necessary or helpful to include some type of grounding with the setup?
That's a conductor. The metal that's on there, it's a thin film, but it's metal. And you can get gator clips with grounding wire and connect it to a ground someplace in your house.
Yeah.
You can do that, and then energy it does hit it will go to ground.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I've seen those before, and I tried a little bit of that before. Where I've done the whole thing where you buy they call them like pigtail cables or something, and then you like trim the end, and you attach it to the alligator clip, right? And then the other end, the non-alligator clip end, you would connect it to your grounding.
Either with a clamp or or you can do something like get green insulated wire or black and put a gated clip on one end of the wire, and then on the other side probably use green, because you can get one of those plugs that you would be able to replace for your appliances. A three conductor prong and plug. It basically take out the two straight blade conductors and just leave the center pin. That pin for the grounding of it, you can utilize the ground that's in your wall.
I think also, by the way, I think they have a thing where they have that already set up, and I think it's called a banana plug, isn't it?
I'm not sure about that. I don't know about that. Dwight.
But basically, you're getting rid of the connectors and keeping the grounding one, or something like that.
I'd have to read up on that one. That's because doing electrical is not my a specialty, but I have knowledge of it. I certainly respect electricity. And I've been around where people that are experienced have screwed up and run a screw through a hot wire, and whenever they turned on the breaker, it exploded in the basement, because I was doing heating and air at that time. So we had to wire in some extra service for the furnace down in the basement, and that's what happened. They just run the screws in for put the front plate back on, and they nicked the wire, and it stayed connected to it. So put power to it, and it kabam! It was deafening, So definitely.
Okay, I'm looking up the banana plug right now just to see what I was if this was what I had read about. But in any case, I'm so sorry. So you're just basically saying that you can take the 3-prong
replacement connector.
Yeah. And then you cut off the two.
So you completely remove the pins, because the thing will disassemble it and it comes apart. So you pull those two blades out that are, the main conductor for power, so that nothing will touch that on the in the wall, and you can plug it in. Just wire the the wire that you're going to ground with that has the gator clip on the other end, and just wire it to the pin inside. There's a screws inside where you can wrap it around and professionally put it in place, and then close the thing up, and all you have is one pin. You don't have any way to have any power be put to it. The only thing is if someone did something wrong in the wiring in the house, you want to probably get a circuit checker with a multimeter kit, and it'll let you know that everything's wired correctly, because it'll be all green lights, and it's good to go.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen those. I've seen some type of devices on these EMS protection sites where you can check and make sure your grounding is working properly in the electrical outlet, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I used to have one, but through all the hard times I've been put through here, I've had to sell everything, so I don't have anything like that now. I even had to sell my tools that I would work on my car with.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But
yeah.
But I'm at the point that I wouldn't want to work on a car now. So since my body's been compromised so badly, strength-wise and everything, because being microwaved on one side of my body, my left arm is a lot smaller than my right, and my left arm is my dominant arm, our dominant side.
You're left-handed.
Yep.
Oh, wow. Okay, but that's terrible that your left arm is smaller than the right. I've seen that before. I mean, I've got videos. I haven't posted my latest one, but I see on my own shoulder where the shoulder just spontaneously is smaller than the day before, especially at the top. So, yeah, I mean, these there are electromagnetic beams that are factually, scientifically, and clinically known to, the clinical term is like microwave melting is one of the terms. They're clinically known to, some of these beams melt or shrink tissue. It can be called microwave shrinkage, tissue melting. Huh?
Yeah, you're correct. I was just agreeing with you.
Yeah. So that's terrible. That's absolutely terrible. And I would think that the doctors would be wondering, why one arm is, smaller than the other. You weren't, I'm sure, born that way.
No.
And by the way, I want to let you know that this banana plug thing that I did find, here we have, I don't know, but there are devices that include the word banana. And so here is a grounding outlet plug, and it's got, with anti-static wrist strap and grounding wire, ESD, electrostatic discharge, safe for computer, PC, repair, etc. I've seen actually similar things to this, but it's got this little plug, so I think it's got like two inert prongs. Yeah.
Oh, no.
Sure. Okay. Did we lose him? John? I think he got interrupted. Are you guys there? Daniel and Deb?
Yeah, I'm still here. Yeah,
okay,
I'm still
here.
I'm here.
Is he still there? Because I can't see the web portion anymore. Is he still on the call? Did he mute himself or did he get disconnected? Maybe he'll call back.
I think he must have got I think he got disconnected.
Thank you,
wait. Oh, there you are. Okay, he's there.
It's pretty close. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry to interrupt.
I had one of the aides was coming in that took my lunch plate, and it's a shower day, and so.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I'm sorry to interrupt you. I just want to let our listeners know that that setup that you explained with setting up, modifying that 3-prong outlet, that plug, that they can also. It looks like they can probably buy them. pre-modified, that are already kind of set up that way where the pins are inert and then the grounding part is the part, that's there too, So I just wanted to let them know that. But I didn't mean to interrupt you. You were telling me how about your arm, the one was smaller than the other. And I just want to let you guys know that I probably am going to have to get going soon. You guys, if you want to continue without me, that's cool too. It's just that, and I also wanted to point out that the main thing for me was I'm wondering how we can help get you your adaptive aids so that you can successfully, walk out of the hospital. But you were telling me about your arm, so go ahead. I just probably have to leave within about the next 5 minutes or so. So go on.
Oh no, I described it that my forearm and my left arm is considerably weaker than the right, and I it's not because of any nerve deficit there or anything except for being the first side of my body to absorb microwaves when people be firing them at the vehicle when they go by, because they have this stuff installed in their vehicles as well. You'd be surprised.
Right.
You'd be surprised how many people on the highways are doing this stuff.
Oh, I think Deb can vouch for that. Can't you, Deb? Deb? Well, anyway, plenty of other people have.
Yes, the truckers did it to me. When I was driving home from a job, every time a trucker comes up alongside of me on 694, I get tortured to death. It's awful.
Yeah, so she's got
a lot of truckers are guilty of it.
Yeah, and she actually has videos where you can see beams on the road. Can't you, Deb, coming out of the car, near the car?
Out of the top. Yeah, out of the tops of the cars. Yep.
Yeah. Wow, that's even more interesting to me now that he explained how the masers work and how you can see the beams and stuff and how they produce the plasma and all that. That's very interesting. And I think these type of evidence need to be examined and taken seriously by investigators.
I'm tortured 24/7 in my house, and no matter where I go, I get tortured. And today they messed with my phone when I had to call the police on something. They messed up my phone, so the police couldn't call me back.
Wow.
What else did they do? They're like swarming sharks. There was probably 100 vehicles stalking me this morning. I had to cancel my job.
Oh my gosh. That's
They'll hide
terrible.
in your blind spot, and if you move over, they try to cause accidents and things like that.
Yep.
So whether you hit them, you got to stop and then you got to deal with them, or they try to get you to flinch and run off the road by yourself. I mean, that's what they tried to do when I was in my semi truck when all this stuff started. I would be going down the road and somebody would come in and try to sideswipe me and try to get me to flinch. I just held my lane. I said, well, if you want to hit me, it's your mistake, not mine. That's how I kept it. I'm a safe driver, and I held my lane. And one time I had experienced a lady in a white Ford Explorer in the far left lane, and I was coming up on the airport exit for North Canton, and at Canton, Ohio, and this lady decided to cut across from that far left lane, straight across in front of my tractor, almost clipped my tractor. It's pretty darn close, because when the back end of her vehicle disappeared, and it's because she was so close that the hood covered it up. That's pretty close. So she just cut straight on across over, and then caught the last part of the exit ramp, and didn't slow down or nothing, other than she slowed down after she got past me. But she pulled a stunt, that was cutting straight across. So I just held speed the same. I held it at 55 and just stayed like that. And I don't flinch for anyone. That's been my motto is I'm just holding my lane, and I'm not gonna sacrifice my vehicle and possibly my life for somebody that's doing something to me on purpose. I won't
John,
do it.
I remember talking to you on the phone while you were driving truck, and you were in so much pain from getting tortured from these perps,
Yeah.
Scumbags.
Yeah.
I'm your witness.
Yeah. That's terrible. I feel like some of those techniques that somebody reported at some time that they were like known possible FBI or other sort of federal like known tactics of when like one of them was where they like box a car in, where they have certain, I forgot what they call that. It's like a square that kind of moves with the person. That's moving I forgot the name of it, moving box or something, but I've heard of some of those tactics. So
they do that to me at a job where I work. That there's an FBI guy. The parents of an FBI guy live next door to one of my jobs, and they have the whole neighborhood involved. And they fix their cars into a triangle around me where I'm working, and they put stuff in the ground. They plant stuff in the ground, and I caught two guys doing it at that same place at the same time so they can make their triangle. They have to put a triangle around you in order for it to work.
Wow. I've heard somebody else, can't remember who, but I vaguely recall hearing somebody else recently talking about devices being placed in the ground as well. So that's interesting too. Because it was a target that was planting orgonite in the ground, and he had said that that people were coming along and frantically trying to dig it up out of the ground, and it was claimed that the orgonite had improved some of this dirty kind of electricity or whatever, dirty energy, harmful EMF. But it's interesting. So I don't want to cut you guys off if you want to keep talking, but just for myself in closing, I was just wondering if I don't want to mislead in the wrong direction and say that you need the adaptive aids to leave, because I think it's your legal right to leave, isn't it? So I think that's what I'm kind of wondering about, but I'm here to support you, whichever way you want to go. But right now I have to run and get some urgent things done. So
and I do too.
Okay, and I want to help you get the numbers, but it would help. I don't know if maybe we can divide it up and each get a number or something, but I don't know if you want to say the name of the hospital right now on the air or on the call or not.
I would.
Well, it's Murfreesboro VA branch, what it is.
VA branch?
They call it a campus.
Oh, right, VA campus. Okay, is it a rehab campus?
Yeah, that's this building is. I think they have a regular hospital in here too.
Okay.
It's another building.
Okay. So have they actually? Are they forcing you? Have they told you absolutely cannot leave, or like what's the status here?
Well, they're putting it on me that if I could demonstrate that I can get dressed on my own and stand up and walk to the bathroom, and and this is all things that are being ruined that I should already have back in place, and so they've got
John,
me. Yeah.
John, you also put it on them too, because by now you should be walking. Why are you not walking by now after you've been in there that whole time? Really, you can't walk. You can't go to the bathroom on your own. You can't walk to the bathroom. You can't do certain things on your own, and you should be doing all that by now.
Are they trying to set?
Put it on them.
Did you say that they were trying to do the mental thing at all, John?
I'm sorry?
Did you say that they were trying to do like the mental health thing or any kind of thing like that, or not?
Well, they had a doctor come up and I asked her where she was from. She said, well, may I talk with you a little bit here? Let me come in. and may I turn the light on? She's very polite, and so we started talking, and I asked her, what's her expertise, and it's mental health. So, and so I thought, you were told to come in and evaluate me. Yeah, like that, so.
Well, I'm pretty sure you don't have to do that, right? Or I don't know what Daniel.
Say, are you here to evaluate my walking? Because that's what I'm here for, not for anything else.
Yeah, I did say that. I'm here because of my legs, not because of my mind or my any mental issues, because I don't have any.
No, you don't.
I'm not sure. Does he even have to? Yeah, does he have to answer even? Because isn't a mental evaluation a medical procedure? So were they trying to sneak one in, or what exactly went on there?
They're kind of it was kind of like a casual walk-in visit's what it was. So I shared with her. I told her, I want to make sure, I don't want to share something that will get me Baker acted and everything else. I said, I don't need that. I said, what's happening to me is real. And then she says, well, can you explain it to me? And I just asked a question. I said, do you know what Havana syndrome is? And she says, no. So I said, well, that's sure. That's the syndrome that was the name given for all of our diplomats and FBI agents and people that do jobs overseas for us, that they got injured with energy. Injured brain injuries, and they end up having not being able to work anymore. And it's pretty serious, So I kind of told her, and so anyway, she listened to me. So if she doesn't know, she'll probably be investigating it a little bit herself. My doctor knows about it. I said, well, the doctor knows about it. And so, I said, he knows about it. We've talked about it already. So I've made sure that wasn't just blowing wind to her the first time. I involved my the medical doctor that we talked about it, and he admitted to knowing about it, and he did studies on it. He looked it up on the internet, and that sort of thing. So
sorry.
Oh.
I'm so sorry.
Anyway,
I really have to get going. Yeah, go ahead.
So he's
I'm just going to sign off. I'd like you guys to, continue without me, but it was nice talking to you, John.
I got to get going too. I have to get going. I have to leave.
Okay. I'm so sorry. But maybe Daniel can finish just for a few more minutes. Can you do that, Daniel, just to wrap up the call while I run? Because I'm going to have a huge problem if I don't go right now.
Yeah, no, I don't have a problem with that. I appreciate you joining us today, and we'll catch up later.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, I think it'd be nice if he could just kind of finish his closing stuff of what he's talking about. It sounds important. But thank you so much for having me, John. I'll talk to you soon. And then so we'll see, and I'll try to get the numbers as I can. But I got to run and do this. So thanks a lot, and you guys take care, and I'll talk to you later.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Bye, John. Okay, you were talking about the Havana thing, what you're saying. Okay, bye-bye.
All right, John, it's you and me here. And so what were you saying here? You want to continue with your thought on that? Hello, John.
John, are you there? Hello, John? Oh, maybe
yes, I'm here.
Up.
I'm here.
Oh, there you are. There you are.
Yeah, I shared with that doctor that it's like from mental health what my medical doctor already knew about, because we discussed it, and he knows about the energy coming through and all that. I told him today I need to leave. I said, this has been on me for 24/7, and they're starting to really hurt me. And I said, I can't do this. I can't continue to sit here in this bed and supposed to be resting so I can have another, a day with therapy and stuff. Or I mean, whenever therapy comes around, whenever the whole day is being sabotaged with this stuff, and my health for that matter. And they seem to not really. That doesn't process the same as they want to get more vitamin B12 in me because they say I'm low, and they showed me on a computer graph. I don't know if it was fabricated. They can't fabricate that quickly, but they say I've got 200 and it's supposed to be 400. But they're giving me some kind of chemical. I don't really. I just don't. I would rather have a natural supplement that's got B12 natural instead of some kind of thing that's manufactured. Or, it might even be a GMO or whatever. But anyway, they're like really pressing that, and the side effects of vitamin B12 mimic neuropathy in all the limbs if you get an overdose. So if your body's already good with vitamin B on a daily basis, vitamin B12, and you take a pill or 2 pills, it's 1,000 micrograms or whatever that amount is, you're overdosing your body at that point. And some of the symptoms, side effects or whatever from too much of that is neuropathy in the limbs, and your extremities. And that's what they're doing to me with directed energy is ruining the nerves in my feet, and my legs. My legs skin's numb, and the skin around my back from this energy is striking my back. The skin around my torso, it's all numb. And it's got an eerie feeling to it. It's numb, but then it's super sensitive at the same time. So that's probably a fake fibromyalgia type situations. So anyway, that's I've shared my story on the basis that there's existing people that have been harmed with energy, and we've all taken that name, Havana syndrome. I mean that's a big thing for those who are in the targeted community because they're being affected with virtually the same energies. I mean, it's microwave technology. And the stuff isn't good on the human body, that's for sure. It's very nasty. Skin is slow to heal, damages your organs, it stuns all organ functions. And that sort of thing. You have the higher blood sugars because your pancreas is sluggish. And then they get to do a blood test on you, and then they'll say, well, you got this going on and that going on. Here's a pill. We'll get that down for you. And your blood pressure goes up too. And they can affect your blood pressure in very severe manners with being struck with an energy like that, and you can run your blood pressure to 170 something over 110 or something like that. Going into a emergency room facility, and that's what happened to me up in Clarksville, Tennessee. So my doctor had me scheduled for a blood pressure check, and I drove down to Nashville to my doctor, part of the VA doctor's healthcare system. I went in and had my pressure checked, and it was like a kid's. It was 120 something over 80. I guess that's about it. But there's
okay,
the people
John,
that have this.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was going to say I got to get going too. I have to get to the bank before they close,
okay.
And I'm glad that you were able to come on here. I hope someone can help you do something about this, because this is a real crime going on. They're trying to kill you. They know that you're not going to get out of there. They're going to collect, if anything happens to you, they're going to collect a big insurance thing on you. They think they got you. And, I can't sit back and watch anymore. That's why I got Heidi involved, and everyone she knows, so we can get this out there. They're getting away with murder. Are you there, Dan? Yeah, I got people that live all around me that are doing this to me. Even the old seniors in the apartments across from me, they're the worst.
Yeah, I can believe it.
I have a lot of videos of them. I have a lot of evidence. I have a lot of proof. And when the time comes for us to show our evidence, they're definitely going down. They're going to get arrested, and I hope they all go to the FEMA camps that they all have ready for these scums. But I'm not going to sit back and watch them kill you. That's all I know. Not on my watch. Well, something needs to be done quick. They're going to have to start getting this therapy going, not the mental health crap. That's a bunch of BS. It really makes me mad what they're doing to you. Dan, are you there? I think his name is Dan.
Yeah, I'm
Hello?
still here. Yeah.
Yeah,
Can you
I
hear
have
me?
to run. I got to go to the bank
Okay.
before they close here. And
All right.
so it was nice. Thank you for letting me be on your program. I really appreciate this. And getting this out for John, and hopefully something can happen real quick for him.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yep.
Well, we want to thank you guys for joining us here on the meeting, especially you, John. Now, is there any way that our audience, if they needed to, is there any way they can get a hold of you?
John? John, are you there?
Maybe.
John? Yeah, I put my phone on mute, and I'm doing something else, and then I have to come back. That's why it takes me longer. But
Yeah, I do the same thing too. But I was asking him if there's any way people can get a hold of him. Do you know if John has a Facebook at all?
yes, he does. Yes.
Oh, what is John's full name? So if people want to look John up and get a hold of him, how would they get a hold of John through Facebook?
It's KET, K as in ketchup, E as in Edward, T as in Tom, C as in cat, H as in Henry. And I think it's either a E or a U. I don't know. And then an M as in Mary. There's a picture of him, a big picture of him on there.
Oh, okay. Great. And so I just wanted to make an announcement before you guys all hung up. And we're sponsored by our website. It's called Social 1776. It's where the online revolution's happening, the fight against... it's the fight against big tech censorship. Basically, it's a social media platform just like Facebook, but it's controlled by patriots, built by patriots.
That's cool.
So, thanks. So, yeah, go over there and join up and join our courtroom watch page.
Oh, I'm definitely going to do that.
Great.
I'm definitely going to do that.
Well, thank you for joining us here on this program, and hope you have a good day, and hope that you start winning the battle against this hidden enemy that is attacking you electronically.
Oh, it's terrible. Kids are even involved in it. It's unbelievable. Little kids, they get kids involved.
Pretty horrible.
Okay, well, thank you so much. I really enjoyed this. And yes, I'm going to join your channel. And like I said, I'm going to pray for John. And, I really want something done. No more of the sitting around and stalling. If I knew how to do it, I would call that administration. But I'm not good with that. Someone needs to, I don't know, the ball has to get rolling here. This is enough.
Absolutely. All right, well, with all that being said, I'm going to close this meeting out here. And you can look for this on I'll make sure that this goes up on our social media website. I'll also post it on Facebook. You'll find it on the Anti-Deep State Party and possibly on courtroomwatch.com. But it will definitely be on, it'll definitely be on social 17. Yeah, it'll definitely be on social1776.com.
Okay.
So.
All right.
Yep.
Thank you.
All right. Yes.
Thank you very
you're welcome.
much.
All right. Okay, you guys have a good one. And God bless. And hopefully we'll talk sometime soon. All right.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Okay.